now the side of New York University. That did help cement that third game win for themselves. Now looking towards this pick and ban phase, it's a couple clear adaptations that may come out for the side here of University of Toronto that could get everything back on the rails for them. I would not expect to see Jungler given to the second round of picks. I think he'll be definitely one of the first 3 picks coming out for University of Toronto here. Now over on the other side of things, I'd be very surprised to see Caitlin Morgana run through again for New York University. It was so potent this last game that I feel like you almost have to ban it if you now are University of Toronto.
Yeah, very much so. The picks and bans definitely where the games have been made thus far, especially in
Caitlin ban.
Yeah, Caitlin ban, and that's for good reason. Malala, there's a reason why Malala had that taken away from him in game number 1 and 2. Number 3, he got that absolutely destroyed in the bot lane with AD carry. And now, Zach also banned away because Longboy, again, same thing. Absolutely destroyed in the bot side, but that was with Aaron and Deadly, of course, too. But his gank set up huge plays on that bot side, and that was the biggest point in game number 3, along with Defriff with his 8.5-minute pentakill. But the Jarvan being taken away from Aqua Blue, which he showed on game number 1, and this time Tristana, first time.
I like it.
First time over on the side of New York.
Ooh, well, they will take the Tristana out and away. A little surprising to see Xayah make it through again, but maybe not after the last game. You know, we thought Aaron first picking the Xayah would be this dominating force. Here, he's going to go for it again, say, you know what, don't count it out. Just because I didn't have the best game with Xayah last time around doesn't mean that it's not for good reason. It was banned every single time, so they do lock that in to firmly place that statement down. It is a story of the ADs early, and look at that. Longboy going to take the Sejuani for what I believe might be the first time in this series. I believe he's been on a different jungler every single time. So this will be his 4th unique one and potentially the last one for the series if he can put this to bed. Now we'll see how Aqua Blue responds. He did play jungle game number 1 and game number 3. Looks like with the Morgana pickup as well, AD Carry's likely going to run that down again. And Jax, he was so comfortable on it last time that he's not feeling the need to change. So it's a similar composition already from the side of New York University. The only difference is the Tristana for the Caitlyn, but I actually think that it's a decent enough substitute that it won't rock the boat too hard here.
Very much so, and that's something that they've been wanting to put on to Malala for a second now. Aaron has gotten it for the first 2 games. It was banned out in game number 3. And, of course, this time it's replaced with the Caitlyn on the ban side, so they pick it up on that first pick over on the side of New York University. Very nicely done. Meanwhile, on the side of Toronto, Sejuani, I like that a lot more on Longboy. And you were wondering last game how Sejuani got through picks and bans and not picks still. That's like an anomaly in this sort of meta right now. But it is picked up this time. Longboy, he doesn't want to play too aggressive this time. At least I wouldn't think he wants to, because this is game number 4. If NYU can bring it to a game number 5, that is an immense amount of pressure onto Toronto. But this time, Malzahar banned out from Malphase, who did a great job on that champion.
Yeah, the Malzahar very much an integral champion just for keeping Longboy locked up and giving themselves enough time to burst him down. Now, this time, he's not quite as slick and slippery as he was on the Kayn, so we'll see how exactly that Malzahar will, the absence of that Malzahar, rather, will play into this one, because there's still good mid laners that Malphase can pick up. He did not have the best game on the Ziggs, despite the fact that, the game didn't go well, but I was actually quite pleased with his performance, his mechanical ability on that Ziggs, and it felt like the macro snowball and just things getting well out of hand. So, provided there's not a Talon lock-in.
Yeah, you get Talon and Pentakill, he's going to run over anybody.
Yeah, no, I assume that actually Ziggs is still something that could very well be pocketed now for the side of Malphase. I would not be surprised to see Talon taken off the table here. Yep, going to go away. Does not want him to come through, so no surprises there as Vlad and Talon are taken out. They're making it a little bit tough for Defref. He had a good Orianna game, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly.
He did, yeah. He was the big reason why actually they pulled the game around in game number 1, because everyone clumped up for shockwaves. He was there to answer, and he wasn't shut down, so he had a lot of power to work with. But if Vel'Koz, I don't chant it like that, but that is very worthy of a chant, I suppose.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody at home should be chanting Vel'Koz right now. But if Defref doesn't end this game with 25 kills, then it's a disgrace to the champion.
Fair enough. I'm very excited to see Vel'Koz in the mid lane.
Me too.
So like his counterpart in the in the jungle, Longboy been playing 4 different champions, and now Defref has played 4 different mid lane champions, showing the depth of their champion pool. And it's a little bit questionable in that mid lane, because Vel'Koz, he has no escape, something that has been missing, or something that he's had for the most part in his other champions. Orianna, you could say, doesn't have an escape, but does have a shockwave to help him out,
No. Yeah, okay.
pull champions away, and then
Oh,
also
he did.
dissonance. And we're gonna have a Vygar in the mid lane, and Vygar is actually really powerful right now. He, not to mention these big team fights. Of course, Event Horizon has always been a big factor, but he can just scale and scale and scale, and with the item changes, especially to Archangel Staff, it actually benefits him a lot. So, because he just spams Q, gets the AP from that, I do expect to see a lot of aggression, or a lot of plays from Vygar, Mulface's Vygar.
Well, in the spirit of innovation and experimentation, Junex says, get me in on that. I'm going to play somebody new as well. It will be the Shen coming down for the guy, so he will get that one to run through. And I like it. I think Shen is a very fun champion to watch in this game. I think he can do a lot to kind of offset the Scion pick, especially when it comes to the global split pushing part of the game.
A lot of big plays can be made with him.
That said, Shen can be a little bit harder into the Morgana support because you're going to want to lock up pretty much Vygar or Tristana. And with that Black Shield, your taunt, one of the biggest engaged tools now of this team that is not the Sejuani Ultimate, is very counterable. So I actually still very much like the composition coming out of NYU. I think it's very in tune with what they had going for themselves last game. I think they can pull off the same ability here. Shen, though, in the top lane with the taunt to come through. Potential Sejuani now from Longboy, something that I've been waiting to see. We were asking why it didn't happen last time. This could be the University of Toronto revitalizing themselves, sitting back down to the drawing board and saying, you know what, we played a little aggressive last time and got caught for some basic mistakes, but this time we're doing it by the book and we want to win.
Yeah, and that's what they have to do. Again, this is quarterfinals. Like, you cannot afford to lose even one game. You have to show up or go home. And Toronto, they don't want to go home. They're going to try to send NYU home with this last game hopefully for the last game for them. This is game number 4. NYU, of course, want to bring it to a game number 5 and take that one as well. But we do have cleanse on both mid laners. So you were talking about Shin being a big factor in these team fights, being able to having to choose who he taunts, and the Black Shield AD carry throwing the Black Shield on whoever he wants to taunt. But Vygar with the cleanse might not have to worry too much about a Black Shield, since he does have that cleanse. Just throw it on Tristana, Malala's Tristana, keep him safe.
Yeah, I love it. So it's a lot to just work now in the favor of NYU as they are preparing to throw down the gauntlet in what they hope to be a reverse sweep. Game number 4, all too critical because they found the momentum in the last game, but being able to maintain it before going into that 5th game is all the difference. So we'll see. I think, personally, I like the Vygar pick a lot here, just so that the bottom side of the map for University of Toronto is all effectively one-shottable if you are Vygar. You can take out so many people from this composition, and you're looking at Shen and Sejuani to be your tank line here, and 2 champions that can definitely front very well, especially for the Vel'Koz, who is just gonna throw the geometry bombs from all sorts of the backline. But with just if Jax and Sion can get behind and one of them ties up the Shen, and Jax just starts trying to sit on Vel'Koz or Xayah or whomever, Vygar can just sneak up and say, bye, you're out of this game, by the way. And make a nice run for himself there. So the inverse of that is that if he dies early, they can just snowball that into 3 or 4-0 on the Vygar in the mid lane, just kind of a revolving door of ganks, and it could go very south very quickly. We'll find out. All the same, do need to hit a little bit of informational plugs for you guys before we do get into this game. My name is Kyle Corvus Crow. That is Joshua Fekaz Quest. You can find us on Twitter by putting !casters into the chat. Give us some feedback. We love to hear from you guys, your thoughts on the game and what we at the CSL could be doing to make this more enjoyable for you all. If you want to find CSL on Twitter, that's twitter.com/CStarLeague and /CSLLOL. That's all of our league-specific content. C-Star League, obviously, much more general than just League of Legends, which is why if you want to get your school involved in more esports than just League in particular, Discord is a great way to keep up with us. !Discord in the chat. You can find out everything that's going on there. Get your school a little bit more involved and kind of firing on all cylinders from the esports perspective. Want to give a huge shout-out to Twitch. Always nothing but gratitude for the largest streaming platform in all of competitive gaming to give us the support that we so love from them. From events like PAX East and West, we wouldn't be what we are at the CSL without their help and continued support. So give them some love on social media, twitter.com/Twitch, facebook.com/Twitch. You're on twitch.tv right now, so maybe you heard of them. And if you can't watch our games live, you can find everything on YouTube. That is youtube.com/user/C-Star-League. And any VODs that you may have missed, anything going on with other esports like I mentioned, or the JV League, the Teemo Cup, there's always some action going on. So check out the YouTube if you're not getting enough league just here today.
And with that being said, we are into game number 4, best of 5 series in the quarterfinals of the Eastern Conference between University of Toronto and New York University. Coming down to the wire here, New York University, of course, want to bring it into a game number 5. They would love nothing more, especially with this Vigar making it viable. Gonna see if that one can work out. Of course, Toronto, they are playing a more conservative team, not the aggressive play style they had last game. We're gonna see if that one pays off for them in this early going.
I gotta say, this is the first time that I don't think we've seen NYU 5-man in the early game.
Right, yeah.
I think that may just be because of the Shen. They're so worried about getting taunted, right?
If 5-man taunt can actually just spell doom for your early game, especially with a Vel'Koz there, he can dish out so much damage in a short amount of time.
Well, it's good that they're respecting the composition and not just falling into the same old rut of, hey, yeah, we group 5, we run down into the bot lane bush, and we try to push a jungle part. It actually punished them pretty heavily, I believe, in that second game. So, all things considered, good that they just held the defensive line. This is one of the first games I think we've seen where University of Toronto doesn't have some form of deep vision.
Yeah, actually nobody has any form of deep vision. This is a completely blank map for everybody, just wherever anyone's standing. There are no words thrown out on either side, which is very unusual to see. Usually you want to at least get jungle pathing. They might not know that Aqua Blue is going to be starting as blue. So they're actually starting different jungle routes here. Long Boy going from the bottom to the top, Aqua Blue going from the top to the bottom. And that's usually what the jungle wards are for early on, to get that information, to see where they're going to be routing, and just prep from there as far as your lane pressure and your minion wave control, everything. And no information on either side, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, indeed the case. So it's been the bot lane story before. I think it's still the bot lane story with side characters featuring a spin-off episode in the mid lane. But you can't just have a Vagar versus a Vel'Koz and not talk about it extensively, right? This is going to be very fun to watch. But all that to say, it was by the bot lane that New York has lived and died in this series. They're trying again. Did not get the Caitlyn this time, but Milala on the Tristana for the first time in this series. I'm excited to see what he can pull out of this one, because I feel like that Tristana has been so prioritized thus far in college League of Legends. Not seen as much in pro play where it can be a little bit more exploited. But I feel like with Milala on this champion, this is something that could prove very good for NYU. Still can't sleep on Toronto. No. They won those first 2 games handily for a reason.
Yeah, not at all. The first game, you could almost blame it on team comp of New York University, but the second game, completely them. They absolutely destroyed and got every piece of the puzzle in place before they were able to complete the entire picture, and that picture was the doom of NYU at about 20-some minutes. So if they can get that going again. Now, with that being said, they were on a Talon in the mid lane. Defref was. He's on a Vel'Koz. You don't get
not as many pentakills.
Right, you don't get that aggressive playstyle with a Vel'Koz, but you do get a nice team fight, especially in the jungle when everyone lines up for your disintegration ray. Very excited to see how he plays this Vel'Koz in the mid lane.
Very much the case. I gotta say, University of Toronto has been incredibly impressive to me throughout this series. Obviously, they weren't able to pull it together last game, but this time around, we'll see if things can be different. Especially, we've talked about it high and low, but this is a rebuilding year for these guys. Right. Top to bottom, this is none of that same God roster. As looking here in our notes, and they were saying for U of T that they were kind of all after the FlyQuest roster happened for FlyQuest Academy, when basically the entirety of the old Toronto squad was taken out and away there. Offers came in from the previous coach, actually started putting out recruiting notice. So if I'm reading that right, that should be Invert there.
Yep, Invert.
Yep, and doing the actual recruiting. So kind of a farewell gift to this University of Toronto by putting together the players that he thought would be a good addition to his legacy. And so I think already thus far they've proved him very much right, especially when you think recruiting, you think of younger players. I don't know the age group of all these. I doubt they're all just freshmen, but you do think when recruiting is put down by design, it's for obviously multiple years, more so than just the immediate one. So in a rebuilding year to be this far already, I am immensely proud of the Toronto program.
Yeah, me too. That's something I want to talk about a little bit as well, because yeah, Invert, he built this second roster, or at least helped build it, and you have to think his decision making is what got them in the international exposure over in China in the first place, into the championship playoffs last year. So Invert knows exactly what he's doing. That's why I see games like last game where like it seemed like there was enough respect being paid to the enemy. That's why I get so disappointed, because I know there's so much potential in this Toronto roster. They're here for a reason. They absolutely dominated game number 2 for a reason. And it's something like that. Little tiny like nuances where they get kind of cocky. That's just disappoints me a little bit, but because I know they have so much more potential, and I hope we see it in this game. And if they go on to the tournament in the semis, I hope we keep seeing it. This is for the Western. That's going to the semis of the Eastern Conference to take on Western Purple. That's from London, Ontario. You have to think they are watching this very closely. Scouting out, especially Toronto, seeing that they do get a little cocky there. That might be something that a team can exploit, just like NYU did.
It might be the hallmark of just the fact that they're a younger team,
possibly.
Right? And so this is the kind of thing, maybe it gets ironed out with time, maybe not if they continue to just win outright. So we'll see whatever the case is. Again, whomever wins here has their work cut out for them, because they do have to face against Western. And that's just not the easiest of tasks. Western has been an indomitable force in the East thus far. Not to the same degree as we may have in other regions, but certainly enough to purport the storyline. So we will see now how the rest of this game plans out before us, because, good lord, AD Carry is impressing me on this Morgana. I was going to talk about CS for a second, but I just want to talk about AD Carry and how clean of a Morgana he's been in the last 2 games.
Yeah, AD Carry is playing extremely well. Morgana was banned out in game number 2. They picked the Braum in game number 1 just to fit with the team comp that they had. But game number 2, they was banned out, and there's good reason. He got it in game number 3, absolutely destroyed. And we were wondering if it was because of the Malala. Hold on, we have a gank in the bot lane. I'll talk about that in a moment. But again,
Boy wants to find it. There's the vision. Carry knows exactly what he's doing though to keep things moving in the right direction. Yeah, Malala was a little aggressive on that, just with the positioning. Didn't get under tower immediately. Felt like he didn't need to. Didn't care. So pushing right on out, and this is the Doran's shield start with the Tristana versus the Doran's blade, and still going really well for Malala. So lane looks to be in good shape. Can't say the same for Malface. Has to flash out, and he's flashing out actually into enemy territory. His defense is aqua blue, so he should be able to back. But Lord, Defref just absolutely making it happen.
Yeah, the Malface has not went back. Defref has, so he has that mana sustain, able to spam out a little bit more than Malface. Have knock up on the bot side, not going to happen too much, because again, AD Carry so fluid, so smooth on this Morgana Black Shield. Very easy to play. It makes it look very easy, and is ready at every time Deadly tries to go in.
Yeah, definitely the case, and so really countering well. Maybe not that time. The flash, I don't even actually think it was off cooldown yet. So they're just going to spit that back through. But wow, does find it on the Lala, so puts it there at the end. Yeah, I'm actually 90% certain that it was not on cooldown, or it was still cooling down.
More than likely, yeah.
So there was an aggressive flash. Deadly wanted. That's both summoners used, and it's the flash coming out of AD Carry and the heal coming out from Malala. That's a lot of engage out of Deadly. And so we'll see if that'll be worth in the long run of things or not. Aaron, with still both summoners, gets him in a better position for those later trades. But I don't know.
We're going to see how that pans out in the end. We still haven't seen much jungle pressure yet, though. Longboy, he is out farming right now. Out farming Aqua Blue, which is odd because you'd think Jax would be farming a little bit faster, considering he does clear very quickly with his empowered auto attacks. And he can also sustain himself in the jungle with the, well, I won't say sustain, but he can keep himself from taking so much damage in the jungle with the counter strike.
Sure.
But so far, Longboy is outpacing him. But it might be a little bit different if Defref here, he actually just blew his flash in the mid lane.
Yeah, got a little bit of squirrely there. I think he knew that Aqua Blue was coming around, and Wanted to make sure he was in no position to be in trouble. He's still out CSing pretty well over Maulface. Deadly trying to come in. Bad news potentially for AD carry because here's over the wall. Longboy, it's a taunt as well in the top lane as we do shift focus. Sprinkles over there. The bot lane should be getting out. No, Milala's going to be in some trouble. The summoner, he was not there the potion. But look, if Longboy can't pull this one through, it's first blood, but at what cost? They give a kill now over to AD carry. He's going to have this one for sure. The minions will help him if nothing else, and does find that one out and through. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. First blood going now, credit to the University of Toronto. But Milala only with the assist, and the first death, it's not great.
Yeah, they had to cut that one back on the bot side. Aaron and Deadly were not able to follow because Aqua Blue was coming in to cut them off. So very nice interference, running interference from Aqua Blue on the bot side. Longboy, he really had no choice but to just finish that one out. So he did get the first blood, did give a kill over to AD carry. At the same time, that is going to be some jungle pressure off the map for Toronto University just for a split second. That allows Sprinkles to push up a little bit more aggressively in that top side and pressure June. Maybe actually push the turret, push the wave all the way to the turret. He still has teleport, maybe coming back with that teleport as well once he pushes this wave and goes back. Might actually get a couple turret shots as well, knowing that Longboy just got out of base, knowing he probably more likely will not be going to that top side.
Feels pretty good about this one. I've been impressed with Sprinkles' play throughout. He's 21 CS up right now, and that's got to be a nice advantage, especially it's more so than the advantage that we see kind of stretching in the mid lane on the other side of things with Deathref over Maulface. So I doubt, Sion's not exactly the kind of champion to come through and just turn a game on his head and carry it so well. He is a supportive, tanky top laner. That's good for engages, good for soaking up a lot of damage, and then trying to get the crowd control on as the fights wear down, and so does his health bar. But having that CS advantage, especially over the likes of a Shen, just as much time of that Shen that you can tie up, especially for Junex, who has been a very, global player throughout, now on a global champion, it's a good use of his time. Sprinkles is going to be feeling pretty good there. Cloud Drake taken out and away now by the side of NYU. They're going to want to take that one and just turn it into some rotations. Next on the docket is going to be, well, hang on just a second. It's another root in the bot lane and another fight coming down. We may see there is the ultimate coming through, and that's bad news. Bears coming out now for AD carry. The teleports are there. Sprinkles is in, but June is right behind him, and they have to both run out of this one now. Milala going to try to do what he can to make sure his top laner does not die. But all in all, the rotation is there in spades now. Coming out for the University of Toronto. Sprinkles in some trouble. Milala on the way out now. Sprinkles is going to die here, and Aaron picks up a much-needed kill. He is 2-0-1 right now, and he's having a much better start to this. Oh, boy. Deathref so low. Milala, can he get it? Yes, does. Walks in for the cheeky auto-attack kill, and that is it. So, overstep indeed coming out of University of Toronto. Can we call it cocky? I don't know, but certainly a little bit of a misplay just due to some aggression coming on too much.
No, I think they put the cocky game behind them. That was just a little bit of a misposition from Deathref, expecting that Milala may be trying to go rendezvous with Maulface, possibly, or at least maybe catch him underneath the turret as Milala goes back in here.
Yeah, wants to find it. How sure of this are you? Because Summoner Heal says maybe not too much. Aaron is going low, though. Can Milala turn this one around? No, but AD carry can. And now in the 1v1, make that 2v1 as Maulface is coming to farm a free kill. Not quite! Tormented Soil takes away the credit, and that is a little unfortunate now for the side of Maulface. He wanted to take that one out. We'll have to settle for an assist instead. Gonna farm out this where there is no Milala to take the farm himself, so at least it's not entirely a waste of his time, but not what you want. You want that Veigar to get the roam kill. You want him to start scaling with some itemization, and unfortunately did not show itself in the cards this time.
Let's get the assist. Has a little bit of something. Goes back, finishes up his Arcane Staff, so he's going to be spamming his Qs, building that one up as fast as possible, which means he'll more than likely, Maulface will more than likely never run out of mana in that mid lane. He's going to be spamming as much as possible. And let's see how he can transition with just 2 assists. He's staying up in farm against Deathref. Deathref not having the best of luck in the KDA realm, but he is also building up to his potential as well. Now on the bot side, big items built, Essence Reaver and the Infinity Edge. Aaron decided to finish up his Berserker Greaves. Meanwhile, Milala gonna go for more. Actually, has not finished up. Doesn't get to finish up his Berserker Greaves. But we have.
Hang on, here's Aqua Blue. He wants to find it. There's a big root, but look at how quickly AD carry goes down. Milala now with no support at least finds the enemy carry. Dead Lead now in some trouble himself, but Malala trying to survive through the
bad.
stun. Longboy left alone on him as there is no peel. Where is the CC here? Aqua Blue says, right here. I got it. Vel'Koz not going to find it. Does need to pull in the ult instead, so kills Aqua Blue. Keeps the kills tied at 6-6 thus far, and man, this is just a tennis game the way these are being lobbed back and forth and back and forth.
It is going to leave the bot tower slightly exposed, though, but I think Malface can clear that relatively easy with the ultimates down from Longboy and Defref, but he's actually not being able to get into position here. Goes throw over the event horizon, tries to do as much damage as possible, but
yeah,
he's going to save it.
Should have more focused on killing the minions than doing damage to the champions under tower, but that's just nitpicking at this point. He's okay. Malface does help to save the tower in the presence of, you know, two members that shouldn't be in the bot lane down there in the bot lane. Resetting now for Aaron and Deadly. They're sticking around, and Longboy is going to try to help them find this one. It's going to be bad for Malface. Aaron finds himself his 4th kill of the game, and Malala and AD Carry are trying to decide how badly they want in. Flashing out means not too much. And wow, look at that. It's just the bot lane camp. It's been, you know, living and dying by the bot lane all series long, and now they're just throwing off the gloves, saying, hang on, we're just going to... It's a 4-person lane right now for each team, and so it does turret go down now to the side of University of Toronto. They take that advantage for themselves and find themselves the first gold lead throughout this game.
Yeah, mission accomplished overall for Toronto. They've put a lot of focus on that bot side, but it kept getting traded. Malala keeps getting these kills. AD Carry keeps getting these kills as well, but so does Aaron. Deadly even has 1 kill. It's been a lot, like you said, a tennis game on the bot side, but the overall goal was that turret. It's finally picked up by University of Toronto. They do pick up that one, and that leaves their bot lane to rotate to the top side. I think they're going to not have a turret to go to.
Yeah, they'll still lose the tower. That's actually really nicely done.
Yeah, very nice. Sprinkle's able to pressure that one. Now they're actually going to take the bot side turret as well, because they kept, NYU kept their bot side there, knowing it was just a little bit more. Very nicely played on the macro level by New York University.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, when that rotation with the Cloud Drake should be able to help them. The next one coming up, too, we'll see if they want to try to find that one out before it all starts breaking loose in the top lane here, because knowing the side of University of Toronto, as heavily as they pressured that bot lane out, they're just going to start pressuring other points on the map. So it's good now from the side of NYU to keep things busy, to keep Junex kind of in check here in this top lane, building a nice disparity. It's 30 CS up for Sprinkles. It's still very big advantage now in the bot lane for U of T, but it's the last advantage they have, basically, because the towers are now firmly in control by New York University. They're pushing out, and Sprinkles can reset in the top lane. It's only basically the 2 kills in favor of Aaron over Malala that are currently giving the edge to University of Toronto.
Yeah, and with Malala and AD Carry pushed up, they were not pressured for that. They were actually cut off by Malface and Aqua Blue on the top side of the blue jungle. So, on the blue side of the jungle. Hold on, we have a Drake coming up actually. Hold on.
Yeah, 5-man dragon around. I don't think it's going to be contested. It might be a jump attempt to steal from Aqua Blue, but he would very much be giving us up his own life for it, and it's just a Cloud Drake. So he says, you know what, we'll match pace on our percent move speed here and feel okay about that one. Ocean Drake likely going to be a little bit more contested next time around, but it's a good macro stance coming out now from the University of Toronto to take that one and just not give it up for free, because 2 Cloud Drakes is very hard to deal with when it comes to an enemy team.
This is a lot more methodical pace than we've seen in the other games. Both teams are just loading up the gun and waiting to pull the trigger, but they haven't quite found that exact moment. It looks like, NYU maybe found those moments a little bit more, but only flesh wounds at the moment on the University of Toronto, because the gold is extremely even. In fact, it's 100% even, and once the time goes by with that gold counter there. But the turrets still are in the favor of NYU. This is the most even game we've had. Very exciting. Game number 4. This could lead into a game number 5. NYU not tilted whatsoever from their 2 devastating defeats in the early series. Just keeping it calm, keeping collective, and now we get a very competitive game number 4.
You have to wonder if this slower pace isn't just a little bit due to the fatigue that comes of a series this long. They're not maybe just trying to catch their own breath and pace back out and get ready for the explosive portions of this game, because I'm sure 4 games in, about 4 hours, maybe closer to 3 hours of League of Legends play thus far. Because we started at
12.
3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. So now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just passing 3 hours of play. So for these teams, and that's a long time to mentally devote to any one particular task. So wonder how much of that is them catching their own breath. But look at this. The mid lane tower will go down, but Malala in the top lane should have a split push going pretty well. And Sprinkles holding the attention of Junex really well here. Also, we'll see. I think that's going to go just pretty well unanswered now for the side of University of Toronto. They should feel good about that. Do we have a 1v1 engage going on in the top side jungle? Aaron and Malala. It's going to happen, and the camera cuts back to the top lane because the bottom lane with the top laners because they will back off. Both expending a good bit of health and some summoners, but it is actually slight advantage going over to Malala, still maintaining that summoner heal. So no kills did come through, but, and a good bit of... Go on.
Obviously, not to mention, the Stand United was actually using that.
Sprinkles is in some trouble here.
He is. Yeah, he's getting 1v1 by the boar lady, and he's going to have some backup with AD carry. But that is, like I said, June X, he did use his Stand United onto Aaron on that exchange. So there's actually 2 big ults down during these team fights for the side of Toronto.
It's a big item lead. It's a big gold lead coming out now for Aaron over Malala. But for Malala to be able to come out the victor of that one, has to shake the confidence just a little bit for the University of Toronto. Obviously, their strong macro play, and look at this rotation to take the top tower. Would find themselves a tower lead and cement their gold lead up to 2K now. Going to be potentially returning that confidence right back to the bank.
I believe that's been the biggest gap thus far in game number 4, and Toronto capitalizing on that one, getting the macro play down, nice rotations. Seeing that they had an opportunity to topside. Aaron is at the point where he can take down a turret very quickly. He has the Essence Reaver, so he has the power. He has the cannon, the long-range cannon. I forget what the item's called. But it is the cannon for the rapid fire cannon. Rapid fire cannon. Yep. At the same time, look at that. Rapid fire cannon. So he has the attack speed to do it as well. Not to mention the safety of that, or that powered auto attack of that first auto from the passive of the rapid fire cannon. So he does have quite a bit right now to take out a turret very quickly. We see a lot of pressure being put onto this Baron. There was no Rift Herald taken this time around, which has been unusual for all these games. Objectives have been taken on all sorts of sides on all of games thus far, except for this one.
I believe we had one Rift Herald by University NYU in the last game.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think the Rift Herald was taken in all the other games except for this one thus far.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't recall. I think they might have let it go in the first game, and then I don't know about second. Oh, hang on now. Yeah, Malface in a little bit of trouble, but Longboy going in pretty deep and could pay the price for it here as Sprinkles is trying to get in and through, but we'll see what he can lock up there because it is Vel'Koz he wants, but look at this Dead Lee getting in. The support health bar goes low. It is the Incineration Raid that's going down so heavy, but Malala finds Dead Lee and AD Carry now in some trouble as well. June is going to try to find him out, and Def Ref does make it happen there. Malala coming back on the sidelines just to try to make something happen, but no, it is a 1-for-2. Favor now going over to the side of New York University. They take away Longboy on the jungle, and both teams give up their supports for this, so they can back off and not give away too much else to the potential picks coming out of the remaining members of University of Toronto. Then that will be a worthwhile endeavor now coming out from New York University, but they need to get some vision down. They need to kind of reset in this game because you can't just expect fights to go that way every single time, and the gold advantage still there just by a tick, just that basically one tower's worth of gold between them, and favoring University of Toronto.
Yeah, the team fight, I like Malala's positioning there. That was showing that he can position with the Tristana very well, as just like Aaron can, and that's one of the reasons why Tristana has been a contested pick this entire series, because these team fights have been very, very in your face, and it's really up to the ADC to position themselves to be out of the face of that and just fire from a very safe distance. Malala doing a great job on that exchange. It was a 1-for-2 overall. And even Def Ref with the Disintegration Beam, still not powerful enough to really cinch in a kill there, really get in the power of that Disintegration Beam. So
it was really good, too, how many people he found with it. It just didn't have the damage yet. I want to touch on something that we've been a little remiss in not talking about, is that this game, with its slow pace, does favor NYU, right? They have the better scaling composition by far. So the longer this game goes, the better these guys are going to feel about their ability throughout. So I think they're okay to play this slow pace out. They get an Ocean Drake, which is going to help a lot with that scaling. Right now, it just seems like they may kind of be trying to kill some time, and they don't care, okay, hey, we lose a tower here and there, we give up an objective. We're going to find it when the macro waves work in our favor, just like right now, and reset. I don't actually know. Longboy could be in a real bit of trouble here, actually. I think he's going to get burst out. There's no hope for this guy.
Yeah, there's so much power on the side. We just the Vygar and the Malala's Tristana, a lot of power, a lot of burst power up in the face of anyone who gets caught by that right there, the Event Horizon.
Ooh,
my God.
Getting caught. That's bad for Aaron. He goes down instantaneously, and wouldn't you know it, just like that, New York University have control of this game, and at 25 minutes with the scaling composition, that's really big to me.
Right, and they're going to go on Baron right now.
Yeah, no, this is not good. This is a bad idea.
Yeah, this is very risky.
I have to levy a lot of criticism onto that.
Take it that fast.
Deadly's getting in. He's going to go down for himself, but he buys a little bit of time. The health bars still get lower from the Baron. Def Ref going to try to find it with the Disintegration Ray, and look at that. He finds Sprinkles, but the Baron is over into the hands of New York University, and just like that, the shutdown for it, too. It's worth every time. 2 members dead from the side of NYU. 3 members have Baron. Gold lead is in the favor of NYU now, and University of Toronto are struggling here.
Yes, they are. Baron on the side of NYU. That is going to be a huge, huge power spike for them as they're able to now push out these turrets just a little bit more. As the turrets, or not push out the turrets, push out these waves. The side waves are pushing. It was a nice Disintegration Ray by Def Ref, but it wasn't enough. He was able to pick up Aqua Blue, though. That was something. Yeah, it was able to get a kill out of that still. So there are only 3 Barons on the side of NYU, but that is enough to empower the minions just the way you need to, as we see a split push happening by Malala on the top side, knowing that nobody's going to be up there, though. He needs to be careful. He is by himself. He is a slippery Tristana, does have the rocket jump to work with.
And both summoners.
And both summoners, very much so. And also has the explosive blast, or
Buster shot.
Buster shot. Thank you. Yeah, explosive charge is actually his E. But either way, he's going to just stay safe, go back. Has that empowered Baron back, so does it very quickly, and is going to stay safe.
Well, Feka, as you and I talked that we thought this might be a close series early on. Obviously, we thought differently around game 2, but here in the 4th one, you know, we're getting to that point where you just have to wonder if it's not a close series after all, and these teams being 4th and 5th seed, a perfect matchup for one another. Now, New York University trying to lay on the siege for the first time definitively in this game. We'll see what they can make happen, because they have been lucky to find catches thus far, but it's a different game in a 5v5, and Longboy wants to find Maulface, goes in deep for it, has the health bar, Disintegration Ray is down, the taunt is coming out, and this is bad news for Sprinkles, but look at that, Milala finds the kill of the tank, June, he is dead, Longboy as well, very low, so the engage is effectively broken from the side of University of Toronto. Health bar is low on Sprinkles, but they can still keep up with their range, and the Baron minions coming out now from New York University. AD carry, quick as lightning on that Black Shield. Didn't need it this time. He's going to be thankful for that, but they're going to take this tower. They should back off because the reset from Toronto is there, but it's still another objective found. They weathered that storm perfectly.
Yeah, the engage was completely denied onto Maulface because of that cleanse, and that allows AD carry to put the shield onto Malala, no problem. There's really no choice there. You just, hold on, we have possibly another engage here, but either way, this cleanse really helping out the mid laner of NYU. Someone's caught here.
Ooh, yeah, it's just going to be Longboy, but he's taking a good bit of damage. The Disintegration Ray catches the tail end of Sprinkles, but he's going to sprinkle himself right on out of there, not be too worried, and they're leaving a lot of good wards from the side of New York University, so I feel like they're in great position. Baron, you know, not going to be able to do too much more for these guys at this point, as should just be expiring. Yeah, I mean, they're not even going to get another wave off of this. So they found a tower through it. They found 2 towers through it. I apologize. And the gold lead is now 4K-ish to their favor. They're going to be feeling nice about that. Now's the question of how well do they reset here, because they've been able to find picks, and they were able to weather the storm with the Baron minions, but in a 5v5 with all the tools at the disposal of University of Toronto, it's still a little bit of a precarious situation.
Yeah, very much so. They need to get some sort of pick because they cannot win these outright team fights on the side of Toronto. Aaron, he might be caught out here, actually.
Yeah, Aaron's got to be so careful. It only catches the red buff, so Dark Binding almost. And look at that. Maulface actually in some serious trouble. The Disintegration Ray will find carry as well. It's a double kill. And the pick potential is now in the favor of Toronto because Sprinkles was on the bottom side of that map. They went all in for Mr. Aaron and didn't find him. Def, Ref, and Longboy were ready to capitalize. And Maulface without his cleanse. Sunset on that run right there.
Yeah, that's how you have to play around it. You have to, his cleanse is down, play around that. Your ultimate is going to be up way before his cleanse, so you have to gather, group and gather for that. That makes AD carry, forces AD carry to make a choice. Do you put the black shield on Maulface or do you put the black shield on Malala? Because the person you put it on is going to be saved. The person you don't put it on, more likely going to get blown up. But very nice to play around the jungle and the ability timers in the jungle of AD carry. Saw that his Black Shield and his Dark Binding was down, trying to catch Aaron. And that left them to engage, pick up 2 kills, and that's exactly what Toronto needs. They need to stay in this game. They are staying in this game. It's only 3K gold a spread right now. That's not horrible.
Cloud Drake.
Sprinkles. Yeah, Cloud Drake. This will be the second for one of these teams.
Third both want to find it. So... no more Cloud Drakes after that. It will just head straight to the Elder as we are late into this game now. We talked about the later this game goes, the more it tends to favor New York University. A Cloud Drake would be a nice reset for the rotational power, but look at that. No steal is there, and Toronto just waltzes up and takes it. So it'll be 2 clouds for Toronto, and a cloud and an ocean hanging out for New York University. It's going to be a nice little pickup because as mobile as a lot of members of this team are, especially, you got the Shen who's going to be having to roam back from split pushes, possibly without having to use that stand united, without having to burn the teleport. It's going to feel pretty good. Setting up for the Baron now from University of Toronto. They know this is the next big objective. I don't think there's the pushing power coming out of New York University to really siege up on their base too hard. They know they're going to want Baron. So they're just going to take some time, farm out, try to patrol lanes. That's why they're resetting to the side waves right here, making sure they can push out. As long as they don't get caught, and actually if they can catch Malala here, that's going to be really good for them. I think they know better than to try to chase this one down, though, because Dead Ref is nowhere nearby. Def Ref, I apologize, was nowhere nearby, and they've needed that Disintegration Ray every single time.
Yeah, not enough power to catch out Malala. He just rocket jumps out and is going to stay safe. But that does mean Longboy keeps a hold of his Glacial Prison as well, so he could be using that once again pretty soon. Maulface, he does have Cleanse, and let's look at Malala's itemization here. Also built that Scimitar, so he also has a Cleanse of his own with that Quicksilver Sash. Oh, no, hold on.
Oh, bad. Aaron, buddy, you can't keep letting this happen. That is the second time. 15 seconds on Baron, 45 on Aaron. No Aaron equals no Baron. I will say that one out right now. AD carry is going to be able to come through, and it didn't actually find the binding, but look at that. How can you let that happen near Baron? That is such a throw.
Maulface has so much power behind him, and there's no magic resist on the side of Longboy, so he can get blown up instantly. He's going to try for this. He has Flash, and he needs to make it back out. See if he can get this one. He does. Even level. No.
And burst is there. It does go over to New York University, and so Longboy will not be able to get back over the wall, and it's a 5-man Baron coming out now for the side of NYU. They have to be feeling great about that one.
Yeah, they're going to shove this one as far as into the inhibitors, possibly the Nexus turret, because there are 2 members down. Actually, 1 member now. 30-second death timer on Longboy, though. That means there's no engage, no defensive front end besides the Shin, and he hasn't proven too effective thus far, but they are trying to get a flank.
Oh, they want to find it. Malala is caught up and nowhere to go. Shut down instantaneously. This could be bad now for the remaining members of NYU. They are on the run. Aqua Blue and AD Carry. AD Carry will have to go down. Aqua may just get out of this one in one piece, but be careful how close you get. I would reset. I would wait. 45 seconds off your Baron clock is nothing compared to all 5 members dying. Just wait for the bot lane, return, and come back to it a little bit stronger. They want to take that last top lane outer tower. It's only got 500 health. So that's, what, 2.5 seconds with Tristana?
Maybe.
So, yeah, they'll find that one pretty quickly. But they do need to be careful about how they reset, because Malala thought he had it in the bag and then got bagged out himself, so...
Yeah, I want to talk about how pivotal that fight was, that catch was for Toronto. they ended up, the top tower survived. There are no towers taken so far on this Baron power play from NYU. Toronto kept their hopes and dreams alive because if they were not able to make that pick, NYU may have been able to push into the Nexus turrets out of that, at least through the top side, at least gotten one inhibitor. And now with the inhibitor still up, Toronto has some breath to breathe here, some air to breathe. You know what I mean?
Well, you can breathe breath.
You can. You definitely can. And that is something Toronto needs to do right now. They need to find these little pockets of breath, these little pockets of air to breathe. I'm going to get this right first. Sometime here, they're going to try to find these little pockets of air to breathe because they are a little bit in over their head at the moment. But it's not completely lost. If they can keep getting picks like that, they can stay alive. And the longer this game goes on, the more important those picks are because the higher the death timers are. And especially with Baron on NYU, the kills on Toronto are just that much more important as we see more pressure being put on the top side, but that event horizon is so impressive.
The flank could be coming down again. Maulface waiting on the wings for that one, so they find the turret. Baron has about a third left on it, sitting there, so they should get a couple more good waves out of this one to just push through. And it's only a matter of whether or not the engage is going to come out from the side of University of Toronto. June and Longboy need to make this one happen for their team. And the front line of Sprinkles, you know, he is beefy, but he's not as strong as we might have hoped. So he's going to be relying on this Ocean Drake. They're going to waste a lot of engage onto him. Milala getting out of that one A-okay. Aaron finds the kill. Carry is okay, and Maulface has traded the support. So we'll see Sprinkles only one to go down in that fight for NYU. They find Deadly as well. That's not the worst thing in the world to happen for NYU. If they can find a catch here, if AD Carry can make something happen, we will see. But they have to put the respect on the damage of Toronto. Toronto is not a team to be messing around with this late into the game. Do not start to feel like you have it in the bag, because just when you do, things will flip-flop. It's a 5k gold advantage. They're up 3 towers and a kill. The Ocean Drake will help prolong their sieges, and their ward coverage is good. The tools are there from New York University, but they cannot disrespect, especially with the Elder Drake coming up.
Yeah, very much so. They have the Xayah, they have a Vel'Koz, so they have a lot of late game potential, not to mention Shin just being that big front line for Toronto. Longboy going to be hit out a little bit here. He's finally building some magic resist, so able to withstand some of these dark bindings, and especially these Qs from Maulface. And that was something big in that last team fight. Maulface used his ultimate onto Deadly. Not who you want to use it on. You can delete him instantly, but you want to get it on a carry. So that's something that he missed. This Elder Drake, though, this is going to be huge.
They're chipping it down. They want it, and there's absolutely no holds barred coming now from the side of the University of Toronto. Can the remaining members get in? Aqua Blue is there. The fight is breaking out in earnest. Elder Drake still going down. 1,000 health. It is going over now to Toronto, but they lose Shen in the meantime. Can Sprinkles get out of this one alive? Look at this. It's going to be the kills coming now for the side of New York University. They're coming in and out. Aqua Blue finds Longboy. Finds Longboy. It's only a 2-for-1. As AD Carry was a casualty for NYU. They're going to try now to push down this mid lane. The backs are coming through, but I don't know if there's enough time coming out now from the University of Toronto. They should be able to get this inhibitor turret at the least.
They definitely are. There's the Elder Drake is on the side of Toronto. Are they going to try?
They got the inhibitor. That is so big.
They cannot risk going in and engage and just losing here. If they go in and die, then they lose the entire game and go on to a game number 5. They have to play this patiently. Nice pickup onto the Elder Drake. That means that they can reset in about 12 seconds. Once Longboy and June gets up, try to fight. They have a little bit of time on this Elder Drake. They actually buffed the timer on it, so it does last a little bit longer. That was a couple patches ago, but they can't get caught. They cannot do that.
Oh no! Speaking of getting caught, Deadly making sure the Stand United comes through. Yeah, the Stand United really saving his bacon there, and they will spit back down another tower. But look at this. I mean, June X is getting so low, and he's supposed to be the tank for the team, but if they can just chip that much damage out onto him by one single event horizon, things are not great. We talked about the scaling potential, unreal for the side of a Veigar and a Tristana together. Now, there's no slouching on the side of Toronto either, but the later this game is going, especially now with an inhibitor down, things are looking to be favoring NYU. They just need to be able to control these side lanes a little bit better, because the wave management has not been great. It's allowed now the side of University of Toronto a lot of these neutral objectives, a lot of the ability to start up and start shredding the Elder Drake to, really find those fights on the other two. Oh no, this is bad. Malala has to flash out of that one. Actually did make it the event horizon. A saving grace. Sprinkles with the teleport in. That could have been disastrous, as the death timers are no doubt getting close to a minute here.
Yeah, it has to had to blow his flash. He's not going to have that. He's only going to have rocket jump to really keep it safe. Besides the Mercurial Scimitar. One thing that we do want to point out, you were talking about the wave management here. Hold on, there might be an engage coming out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Baron's up at 15 seconds. They're putting a lot of pressure on this.
They know that the Baron is basically going to make or break the game for either team here. And as well as the Elder Drake went for the side of Toronto, I wouldn't be surprised if Baron were something that they were so ready to just jump to. Especially, look, it's super minions in the mid lane for the side of NYU. But they're nowhere near those Nexus turrets yet. They're still on NYU's side of the map. Wow, Longboy's getting beat up.
That was an ultimate use from Malphite. That means he cannot delete anybody with just his Q, or with his R. He does have a lot of power behind his Dark Matter and his Q. So he has the potential, but he has to catch somebody first. If Aaron gets caught in Event Horizon, he is still done, even without the R from Malphite.
Yeah, look at this, actually. They've sent Miala to split push, and now the 4 members are getting engaged on. Are you kidding me? The redemption comes down. Aaron finds the first kill, and it certainly will not be the last. Malphite in so much trouble. Miala, where were you? What were you doing? He's on the back line. He finds 1 kill, but is it enough? Deadly is so low as well, but Aaron is going to find it. That's the triple kill. That's the ace. It is the game. Almost certainly now going to swing over into the favor of University of Toronto. They have only the Baron to worry about. They lost Death Ref, but with these timers, they could have taken an inhibitor off of this. Instead, they're going to opt for the Baron to reset.
They have no wave besides the bot lane.
I know. They could have possibly tanked it with Shen. It was an aggressive call. Baron was the right call to make. And they need to reset their wave in the mid lane here as well, because the supers are still pouring in. But wow, what an overstep from the University NYU. Just to separate Milala there, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Malala had no flash, had no heal during that either. Only had the rocket jump, and that's not enough to keep you safe. Had the Mercurial Scimitar, but there's so much CC to burst through. You have a Shinton Glacial Fissure. You even have a knockup from both Deadly and Def Ref. There is so much you have to cleanse out of that you can't just do it on everything. So you only have that one get out of jail free card, and when you use it on the one thing, you have to deal with the next 4 things. So huge play for University of Toronto. They bring this gold back to even right now. No minions being able, or no turrets able to be taken thus far, but they are looking for that ray of hope to give them the burst, the sort of motivation they need, the encouragement they need to bring this one back and possibly take game number 4.
Well, we will see again. This game would be the nail in the coffin for Toronto. They've won 2 already. Sitting at 2-1 over NYU could just put the series to bed and move themselves now to the semifinals, where they will play Western. It would be an intense comeback. It would absolutely be impressive to do it in the face of this scaling composition, and we'll see now what NYU has up their sleeve to make this happen, because the game is still so tense. The death timers will end this game before anything else, because it's not going to be guaranteed just a polite siege where teams back off and give up objectives for free. 42 minutes in the game, everyone is fighting to their last breath for everything, because this series rides on it now for NYU.
Very much so. Longboy, look at how much focus they put on Longboy. Longboy can face tank things, take a lot of damage from Malphite. He has the Warmogs in his possession, so he can heal up everything. Not to mention, he does have the Gargoyle Stone Plate as well, so he is so tanky right now. So much health, so many resistances, and now they're just going to force themselves into the bot side here, as they still have the Baron-empowered minions. Stand United is up, Teleport is up. Sprinkles does not have a Teleport. That is something huge as well.
Yeah, he actually can just be to base. That's where the action is happening, so there is at least that going for him. But as long as June can hold off on that and stop that, prevent that back, he's in good shape. So he gets it one time. We'll see if he can continue with it. Now they have held off the Baron Minion Wave number 1, but Baron Minion Waves number 2 and 3 in the bot and top lanes are causing a lot of trouble now to the side of New York University. I don't think in a 4v4 they're in good shape. Aqua Blue trying to get out of this one. Longboy going very deep for it, though. The tower will fall, but Longboy almost does as well. Malphite getting out okay. Cannot say the same for AD Carry, and this should be an inhibitor going down now for the side of University of Toronto. They crack open their first one of the game. It's 44 minutes basically on the clock, but they push through to make it happen, and they want the Nexus turrets. I think they're a little big for their britches on this one. They need to start pushing out other lanes, and they're going to go out by way of mid lane. It's a tower tank coming out from Longboy, but he knows he can do it.
It's a 4v5. They're going to just rotate and take this. They're going to brute force this top lane inhibitor turret.
Oh boy, they're going to try to find this one down. Sprinkles wants to make it happen. It is a kill now onto June, and look at this Aqua Blues getting in there. Death Ref very low. Is he going to go down here? And look, Aaron's in trouble. Are you kidding me? He dies. That's the shutdown, 22-22 in kills, and it looks like NYU is storming through this. The death timers are so long. They have the time. Can they do this, Fekez?
Hold on, it looks like that. Once June is going down, you cannot stay. He is the big front line. You cannot just brute force the turret. Give your life over to him for that turret, and then expect to live afterward. Because June is the big deciding factor. He's the big front line. He's also protection. But hold on, Deadly is still staying. I don't think AD Carry is letting him back. The dead timers are still 20 seconds.
Still 30
June.
seconds.
Yeah.
Aaron and Death Ref 25. They're the damage.
They have a
dealers.
banner command.
I think they're going to do it. I really do believe New York University.
Oh my God.
Are they going to win right here? You have to be kidding me. They will force game number 5. They will take this series the distance and keep the hopes of the reverse sweep alive. It's a Silver Scrapes day, ladies and gentlemen. University of Toronto has just given up 2 games in a row, and NYU are on the warpath. Wow.
Yeah.
I am flabbergasted. I am shamooshed. I am bamboozled. I just can't even.
Shamooshed is definitely a proper word for this one. We are going to a game number 5. We are going to be playing some Silver Scrapes for that one during the intermission, but let's
check if we're allowed to do that. I don't know if Twitch censors that song.
Yeah, you're right.
If we lose all the audio on this best
that
of
would be
5
absolutely
series.
horrible. Maybe I'll play the you know what? I'll play the collegiate Silver Scrapes that was played by Riot and their one of the collegiate bands. There we go.
If Riot does it, so can we.
Yep, yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
At least when it comes to audio, the League of Legends music is allowed to play during League of Legends.
Yeah,
streams.
very much so. Their SoundCloud is all okay, all legal, so we're gonna go with that. My name is Joshua Fekez Quest. We are in a best of 5 and game number 5. I'm here with Kyle Corvus Crow. I don't know if I pointed the right direction. Doesn't matter anymore. We're going to be getting into game number 5 in just a moment. Stick around. Be right back. We are in for a hell of a ride on this game number 5.